Hi, I'm Sawyer.
I'm Tiana.
And we're from the Santa Barbara Middle School Teen Press, and today we're here with
MARIAH Wilson.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Hello.
Sometimes filmmakers, we make sense of things in our own lives through our work. Do you feel that?
Yeah, I do actually. Wow, that's a really good thought. I think that making films helps you learn about the world around you and helps you enrich your own life by meeting people you never would normally meet and hearing their stories and seeing their struggles. So I think it really opens your eyes to other experiences in the world.
What inspired you to make this film? Did you choose this film or did it choose you?
I think I chose to be interested in conservation, and I did a bunch of trips doing eco-volunteering about 10 years ago, and through that I started to learn more about poaching problems and how many animals were being lost due to poaching. But then researching forest elephants, I think the stories really started to find me after a while, and I realized, no one's talking about this particular elephant and how important they are, so I guess I have to be that person to do it.
How long did it take you to make this film? Please tell us about the process.
So I started in late 2014 with research and development, reaching out to people, just kind of getting the logistics in place to do the shoot. And then the first shoot I did was 2015, then I did another one in 2016, and a third in 2017. And so in between all those shoots, there's a lot of looking through your footage, starting to script, which is, picking out the sound bites that you want to use and crafting the scenes. And there's also a lot of fundraising that's involved. So documentary filmmakers apply for a lot of grants. We usually don't get a lot of them, but you get one or two, and you go from there, and you can do crowdfunding as well. So there's just so many steps that you have to do when you're making your own film. So to answer the question, the whole process took about 4.5 years from beginning till end.
What were some of the ups and downs of creating this film?
Oh man, I would say the hardest part of creating this film was getting the fundraising, honestly, to get the production going. It just takes a lot of resources to get a crew over to Africa and to get to some of the places that we needed to get to. They were very remote. And here, I can take that if you want. Oh yeah, it's a little heavy, isn't it? Okay. So so that was a big challenge, and then also just getting through all the bureaucracy that you had to get through in some of these governments to get the permits. There's a lot of corruption in this area of Africa, and so getting through some of the permissions process was definitely caused me a lot of stress, but it was worth it in the end.
Once you have a story and main characters, how do you decide how many other participants to include?
So yeah, that was a challenge because honestly we kept meeting very interesting people when we were filming. We went over with the idea of having 3 main characters, and then while we were there we actually met this man who was a former elephant poacher. And he had a really interesting story because he very much regretted what he had done. He had a little money to start a cocoa farm and earn a livelihood another way, and he did that and he never looked back. And so we're like, well, this is a really fascinating perspective, so I think we should include this too. But you don't want to have too many stories or subjects in your film because then the film starts to get a bit watered down. So at the end we decided on 5 main subjects, and we supplemented with other interviews, but we ended up really not using a lot of that material and just concentrating on the interviews we did with our main subjects.
Did you know any of these people before you did the film?
I didn't know any of them before. I had read about them before. Yeah, I'd read about several of them beforehand, but really when I started this film and started the development, it began with reaching out to people. mostly through email. It makes things much easier nowadays that a lot of people are online. And even if someone we want to film with wasn't accessible by email, we could reach out to them through the NGO, through the nonprofit organization, for instance, World Wildlife Foundation, and they were able to reach out to the person on our behalf. But no, they were all, new people I met, and now I consider them all to be people I'm honored to know.
If you could give us one homework assignment, what would it be?
Oh my goodness. I think a great homework assignment, considering what you're interested in, would be to go and make your own short film. I would encourage you to make it a documentary about anything you want, anything that you're passionate about, that you have unique access to in your own lives. Start out with a 5-minute film. Everybody starts somewhere, and you'll learn so much through the process of making a documentary.
Okay, I have one more question I'm going to add. After waiting so long to finally see the white elephant, what was your feeling when you saw it?
Oh my God. Indescribable. So it was pitch black. It was nighttime. We were filming on these platforms that are about 20 feet up in the air. And we all woke up because we heard splashing in the water. And we weren't sure what it was, but my cinematographer got behind his camera, he turned it on, it was an infrared camera. So he was able to see that it was the elephants. And all I felt was him tapping my shoulder, tap, 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 like that, enthusiastically. And I knew at that moment that we finally had footage of elephants. And so I basically very quietly cheered. I was like, yes! and yeah, it was a magical scene. We even got a little bit of a baby elephant suckling at its mother. So yeah, you'll have to come check it out and see.
Thank you for taking some time to answer our questions.
My pleasure.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thanks, guys.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks, you too.
Go Niners.